Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Let me know. I love hearing from you. I figured we'd wrap out this weird week with a game review. I've been saying that I'm going to do more game reviews, and it's been a couple weeks, so let's do this. Today we're going to take a look at Town Builder Coevorden from First Fish Games. This is a fierce town building competition for 1 to 4 players. It plays in about 30 to 60 minutes, and I picked this up at Origins Game Fair. One of the things I love to do when I go to shows is seek out the smaller publishers or seek out the games I've never heard anything about and try them out. And very often, as is the case here, I end up picking one of these games up. This one caught my eye immediately because it's a town building game. It's a card game. Those two things, they're my kryptonite. I love card games. I love kind of empire building, city building type games. So I was really excited to pick this one up. And really, this game is literally just a deck of cards. That's what's in the box. One small deck of cards. And there's a lot going on in this little deck of cards that is very surprising. The basic synopsis or the basic overview of the game is that there is this big deck of buildings of 5 different types. They are color-coded, but they also have a name written on them, so it is colorblind friendly. We have housing buildings, culture, military, commerce, and social. Those are the 5 building types. And essentially, on your turn, you're going to be drafting 2 of these from the center display. There's 5 cards there. Every turn, you're going to take 2 of them. When you take a card from the center display, you can use it in one of 2 ways. You can put it into your district as a foundation, which means it's rotated sideways. It does not, at that point, it is not part of your district. It doesn't count for points. It doesn't count for anything. It's just a foundation. So the other way you can use cards when you take them is as resources, and resources are on the bottom of the card. Place the resource beneath your foundation. Once you have fully paid for the foundation, you'll discard all the resources, rotate the foundation right side up, and now it is part of your district. Once that happens, some of the cards will have some abilities on the bottom of them. This little hammer symbol says that you can use this card immediately when you play it. For this particular instance, the Treasury, you're going to gain 2 gold from the discard pile. Gold is kind of a special resource. When you take gold, you don't put it underneath of a foundation. You put it underneath of your turn order card, your player card. Gold is then used to pay for future foundations. If you take a building that requires gold in the foundation cost, you must pay that immediately when you take the card. So you have to have the gold tucked under your player card. Once you've paid for that, then it becomes a foundation and you can build it normally. In addition to immediate actions, there are some star actions. I think there's a keyword for that, but I don't remember. You can use one of your special abilities, one of those green star actions every turn. So you could have dozens of, not dozens, but you could have a bunch of these in play. You only get to choose one each turn, and it's kind of a free bonus action. The other thing that buildings might have are in-game scoring. In-game scoring, it tells you on the card what it does, score 2 points for each blue building or whatever it might be. So the main player interaction in this game is through the center draft. There's 5 cards. You're basically, if you're not taking for yourself, when you take resources, you're probably counter drafting. You're the player to your immediate left, or you should be if you're trying to win the game. And you're going to play through the deck a number of times based on the number of players and total up points. Points are awarded by the points shown in the upper left-hand corner of the card. There are also trophies. There are 8 of these trophy cards, and they give you points for achieving certain goals first. So the first player to, say, in this particular instance, dedicated builder award, the first player to build 3 buildings with the same building type is going to be able to take this award. Now the cool thing here is that it's not necessarily the first player. So whoever builds the first 3 buildings of the same type is going to say, I'm claiming this award. But everybody gets an equal number of turns to try to complete this award. So if I'm the first player and I complete it, everybody else gets one more chance to try to get it. That's pretty cool. I like that. Equal number of turns. I think you only play with 2 of these. So these are 2 kind of minor goals to go towards at the start of the game. And then there are also judges. And judges, there is 1 for each type of building. And then there is 1 for buildings that do not have abilities. And at the beginning of the game, I think one of these is going to be face up, and there's going to be some shuffled into the deck. So you won't know until later on, which building types you're going to be trying for. But essentially, at the end of the game, the player with the most building of the judge's type will get the judge's favor and score 2 bonus points. So you play through a certain number of times through the deck, and then the game ends. And it's that simple. It's super fun. I will say that as a drafting type mechanic, I consider this a drafting game. It's a 5 cards in a center row drafting game. It plays super well. I'm really pleased with the trophies, and the judges really kind of give you something to work towards. Even if it's not beneficial to you to take cards that go towards a judge. So it doesn't help whatever you're trying to build in your little district. Maybe your district is a culture-based district, which gives you bonus points for having extra culture, but you really don't want somebody to get these extra 2 points, so you're going to have to go get a few cards from that. Or you really don't want somebody to get that trophy first, so you have a couple of race conditions to fight for, but you're also trying to build a decent district. There are lots of cards that have abilities that score for having certain types or similar types, so there's other bonus points that you're fighting for individually in addition to these 2 common bonuses. And so it makes it really interesting. The choices that you have to make every turn, the 2 cards that you're going to be able to take every turn, it's a fun choice. And I wouldn't say this is a filler game. It takes like 45 minutes to an hour, but it is a lightweight game. I would consider it a lightweight drafting Euro game, which is really... This is my game. This is my type of game. So when I picked it up, I thought for sure I was going to love it, and I do. I think it's a really fun, very tight experience, very fun decisions. I love the counter drafting the person to your left or being counter drafted by the person to your right. I love the different card interactions. You can try to build towards something. Like there are some cards in here that really reward you for having certain buildings in your district. So early on, you could try to build towards that card. But if a card never comes out and you never get the chance to take it, it might not pay off. You can also just kind of build whatever happens and try to play that way. That's how I normally play. I kind of just build to the strength of whatever I currently have, and I don't really worry about what may or may not come. But I've also been beat by a player who has really tried to strategize and maximize the end game from the get-go. And I think those are 2 very valid ways of playing, and it makes it feel like a much bigger game when it's just this little deck of cards. I mean, I don't know exactly how many cards are in the box. I don't think it tells me. 60 town cards. So 60 town cards give me a whole bunch of decisions. But Coevorden from First Fish Games gets a big thumbs up for me. I can totally recommend it. I think I paid $20 for it, and at that price, it's an absolute steal. I would say if you're into drafting games, if you're into town building, it's loosely themed, but it's also themed. It's not theme adjacent. It is themed, and it feels rewarding when you build a nice district. So if you're into that sort of thing, I think this is a good game for you to pick up. So yeah, I can totally recommend it to you. That's what I have for you today. So thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Neatorama.com. What were the names of the 7 dwarves? The 7 finally chosen were, of course, Doc, Bashful, Sneezy, Sleepy, Grumpy, Happy, and everybody's favorite, Dopey. Sneezy was a last-minute replacement for Deefy. Doc was the next to last dwarf selected, and Dopey was originally a talking dwarf, and the great Mel Blanc was considered to do the voice.